Since October 7th, when Israel was attacked, there's been a nearly 400% increase in anti-Semitic incidents, increasing across the country. So much for the Jews controlling the media, right? You know that old myth? Because they are getting killed on social media and, frankly, in much of the coverage in terms of where the needle is. And I've seen who has decided to be quiet and who has decided to make their witness. And one of the standouts has been actor, comedian, and podcast host Michael Rapaport. Okay, now he is a real New Yorker. He takes his faith and his culture as a Jewish person very seriously. And he says he hears what's happening and he sees what's happening even in what was his party, the Democratic Party. And he joins me now. Mike, appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, Chris. How you doing?
Well, I've been better, but I think it's about the good fight, and it's about standing up for what makes sense. I never thought in my life, you know, you and I come from the same place, same kind of friends, and I always thought that my Jewish brothers had graduated to whiteness just like I have, right? My father was considered an ethnic. He was an Italian. I'm a white guy. I figured you were a white guy, too. You're not a white guy. You're a Jew. And I have Jews, and I'm proud to be mishpucha. I'm proud to be extended family to the Jews I choose as family, but I never thought I'd be thanked for them in America for acknowledging their right to exist.
I never thought that there would be 50 hostages still in captivity 648 days later. I never thought that in New York City they would be continuing to rip down posters of those hostages. I never thought they would be ripping them down the day after the posters were put up. I never thought on the streets of New York City people would be screaming about globalizing the Intifada. I never imagined any of this. It's a crazy, 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 unbelievable time. And unfortunately, anti-Jewishness, anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism is at an all-time high. I wish I knew why, how we got here, but here we are. It's an amazing thing to witness. It's on top of the fact that, you know, like I said, there's 50 hostages, 2 of whom are American, are still in captivity.
And look, you know, everybody talks about Israel having to stop, right? It's too much, it's too long, it's too severe. Nobody says anything about Hamas surrendering and relinquishing all power and releasing people from their control. Nobody puts any onus on Hamas. And now we see with the Epstein files, left fringe and right fringe are united in their suspicion that the reason we haven't gotten more information is because Israel's behind it. He's a Mossad agent. Israel's telling Trump to shut up about it. What do you make of that?
Well, you're talking about Mr. America Last, Mr. Bought and Sold. You're talking about Qatari's little love doll, Tucker Carlson, who he doesn't have that spunk. He was sitting in front of the president of Iran. He didn't have that spunk when he was in front of the president of Iran. He didn't have that same spunk that he had this weekend at that conference that I would imagine he got paid to show up at. He didn't have that spunk in front of Putin. But when he's in front of an audience, he's got all that spunk. In front of the guy, the president of Iran, he's like giving a manicure, pedicure massage. What Tucker Carlson says means nothing to me. And regarding the Jews, this is a guy who, in my opinion, has turned into an Iranian sex doll. He's America Last. He complained about the attack against Iran. He's supposed to be America First. Iran has been saying for years that they want to destroy America first. And so I think Tucker Carlson speaks for nobody but himself. I think he's a performer who is now bought and sold. In regards to the Epstein situation, listen, it all comes back to the Jews. Even Twitter hacked Elmo. He got his Twitter hacked the other day, and it was the Jews. And he had an opportunity. He could have said something about everybody else, but it was just the Jews. It wasn't Latinos. It wasn't the Italians. It wasn't short people, tall people, black people, LGBTQ. Elmo got hacked, and it was only the Jews, just the Jews, and only the Jews who are to blame for everything. So it's our time, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are the last acceptable people to openly, outwardly, aggressively, passionately hate. And it's happening all over the world. It's happening in my city with this socialist Democrat, who I think is a Democrat in name only. He's a Dino, this Zohran guy who calls for the globalization of the Intifada in New York City. His best friend, Khalil Muhammad, calls for the globalization of the Intifada in New York City. And we are this close to having a person like that become mayor of what should be considered the greatest city in the world. But the fact that this guy's even in contention is a slap in the face. Whether he wins or loses, it is a slap in the face that this person, who will not even have the decency and the courage to articulate exactly what globalize the Intifada means, and he screams it and yells it and hangs out with other people that scream it and yell it in New York City. It's a crazy time, but here we are. But I always remind myself and the rest of the world and the Jewish people and Zionist people that the Jews are going nowhere and Israel is going nowhere. So you could scream, yell, conspiracy theory, tweet and all that stuff. We've been through it all. We've heard it all. We've seen it all. We're not going anywhere, period.
Mike, what do you say to people, especially when they're Jewish, and they say, listen, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionist. I think that Israel is out of line. Israel is an oppressive force. They are an agent of U.S. interests, and the land was stolen, and I'm a Jew, so, or I love Jews, but I'm just anti-Zionist.
Israelis have the most to complain about of their government and the country. They do it all the time. Before October 7th, there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people protesting in the streets. Israel complains enough about it. So listen, Israel is a flawed government. It's a flawed country. The United States is a flawed government with a flawed country. New York City, my city, is a flawed city. And we have the right to push and complain and want better, just like people have the right to complain about things in Israel. But it's been 2 years, and so many people are just blaming Israel and not really educating themselves. And the reality of the situation is it takes two to tango. And I guarantee you, all these people that want to talk about Israel and all that stuff, and Zionist this and Zionist that, Zionism simply means the right for Israel to exist as a sovereign nation. I wish that word never, ever was conjured up, because it sounds like some exotic plant or some exotic way of thinking. It simply means that Israel has the right to exist. And all these people on these college campuses, they would love to live in Israel before they would love to live in any one of these countries that we've been talking about, let alone in Gaza.
Right. Well,
Gaza's hell, and Gaza's hell, and it's not because of the innocent people in Gaza. It's because of the people that run that place, and they've ran it into the ground. They've ran this place into the ground. There should be casinos. There should be strip clubs. There should be Chick-fil-A's. There should be Starbucks. There should be the Gaza International Film Festival, and it never, ever is going to happen because of Hamas.
So, Mike, what do you think needs to be done to change the recognition of what is right and wrong in this situation? Because it seems to be going and accelerating in the direction against Israel, at least here in America.
Unfortunately, Chris, it's education, and Israel lost the PR war. We've lost the social media war. We've lost the propaganda war. We've lost the war in the media by some of the big brands of media. How many mistakes and how many retractions could be made by, the number one brands in news. It's going to take a long time, but it all comes down to just educating, people. And it sucks that we're sort of at square one, but here we are.
Well, Michael, I'll tell you what, you always got a platform here to talk about it. And I am outspoken when it comes to what I see and what is right and what is wrong. I appreciate you doing the same, and I appreciate you doing it here at NewsNation. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.